They say that when you love something you should set it free, so when I built a preservation using the Workshop DLC, I decided to set free 200 alpha Deathclaws. And I did it because a Deathclaw saved my pet dog. Now I was taking a stroll through Bunker Hill one day and I had just recently started a fresh save on Fallout 4, which means I was doing the same thing that everyone does upon entering Boston, which is send a crash report to Windows. But in the 5 minutes that I was actually able to walk around Bunker Hill, I had an interaction with this guy. This guy, Joe Savoldi. And it was in a conversation with this man that he would make a remark that would leave a lasting impression on me. A remark that I would end up basing the entire month of July around.
At least the railroad's fighting the Institute. And why not save sins?
Might as well go off and join the Deathclaw Preservation Society.
Now, at the time, this one line of dialogue didn't mean much to me, so I accepted a quest from him in which I had to go collect his grandfather's hat from Old Gullet Sinkhole. Jesus. This guy's like my grandfather. Dead. Yeah, so I made my way over to Old Gullet Sinkhole, and upon arrival I got ambushed by a group of moles. Stingwings. I got ambushed by a group of stingwings. And obviously, since I was on the highest difficulty, these things were no pushover. But right as it was looking like they were about to kill my pet dog, something miraculous happened. A Deathclaw appeared. Okay, that might not sound like a good thing, but the Deathclaw ran right into the crowd of stingwings that were attacking my dog. And you might think that it ends there, but no, something even crazier happened. Because after the Deathclaw was done killing the stingwings, it was completely passive. It didn't attack me or my dog. Alright, everybody say cheese for the camera. After checking the Wikipedia page for Old Gullet Sinkhole, I found this section at the bottom where it says, the Deathclaw at the bottom of the sinkhole may not attack the player. The wiki calls this a bug. You know what I call it? Destiny. Manifested. Manifest destiny. That's the first time anyone's ever come up with that. I thought back to what that NPC had said back in Bunker Hill. Obviously, this Neanderthal was trying to make a joke. But in that moment, I had an idea. I decided that I had to make it my mission to save all Deathclaws. How hard could it be? First, I needed to get the Wasteland Workshop working. You might think that a DLC with work in the name runs flawlessly out of the box, but this is false. See, Bethesda is trying to train up an army of unpaid interns for their next game, who are capable of editing INI files, and amongst those interns, I will be their strongest soldier. After moving the DLC to the correct folder, I began experimenting with the gadgets that it adds. This DLC is important, and it's important because it allows you to build cages and capture live creatures. The downside of which, you kinda need a beta wave emitter for these, because otherwise... I don't know about that. Let's just go ahead and close that. Okay, let's just go ahead and uninstall the game. Now, beta wave emitters are pretty expensive. How expensive, you ask? This expensive. That's pretty expensive. I mean, 5 nuclear material in this economy? You're ripping me off, and I don't appreciate it. So there I was, brainstorming ways to get nuclear material, and then it hit me. A stroke of genius. See, if you kill an enemy with a plasma weapon, there's a 100% chance of them dropping nuclear material. A bit of a side tangent, but did you know that in the Creation Club for Fallout 4, there's a paid add-on for the BFG 9000, which just so happens to be a plasma weapon? That's right, I'm going the pay-to-win route. So I set out on a journey across the glowing sea, fighting my way past ghouls, stingwings, and rad scorpions. And even then, it wasn't over. I nearly died fighting the owner of the gun. You know, there was definitely a few close calls there. Had me on the ropes a couple times. But after finishing them off, I looted the gun from their body before turning around and firing it at the first thing I saw, which just so happened to be a Deathclaw. In my enthusiasm, I had killed the one thing I swore to protect. And this is made even worse by the fact that this gun doesn't even drop nuclear material! Okay, so you're telling me I went through that entire quest to get a gun that uses plasma ammo only for it to not have the plasma weapon effect of dropping nuclear material. Oh, Bethesda, come on, you're yanking my chain! Damn this gun and damn my 100% accuracy. As I left the glowing sea, I felt an immense sense of guilt and regret. Regret for having taken the life of an innocent Deathclaw, and particularly regret at having spent 400 credits for this DLC. With my side quest being a complete waste of time, I decided to go do what I probably should have done from the beginning, which is buy nuclear material from Vault 81. Electus, please tell me that we're getting back on track. My lunch break is over in like 10 minutes. Alright, look, relax. I grinded out some resources and I began building the start of the preservation. I decided on calling this place Deathclaw Island, and I settled on building it in the What is this place called again? I always forget the name of this place. Spectacle Island. I built it on Spectacle Island, far away from anyone who would seek to do them harm. On the island, they would have plenty of space to roam around like in their natural habitat. The first Deathclaw that I would tame on the ranch was Sprinkles. Many more would soon follow after, but Sprinkles would always remain my favourite. You know, like when your parents tell you that they don't have a favourite child, but you're pretty sure they have a favourite child? That's what this is. Sprinkles is my favourite child. Guys, I just want you all to know that you're all equally important to me, okay? I love you all. You're way more important. Did my game just crash? I'm trying to repair the cages. I think the game crashed. Did it crash? God damn it! This is a Fallout 4 experience. I love this game. There's so much to do and see, with an emphasis on the seeing part. The game crashed before I even loaded in. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, it just crashed like 2 times in the span of me loading the game. My game is still lagging. Oh! I feel like I should restart my game. Okay, never mind. Oh, wonderful. I don't have to restart it. Bethesda did me a favor by crashing the game for me. Load. Load my game. Load. You gotta be kidding me. Guys, I got some bad news. I got some bad news. And how do I turn off this goddamn menu music? I'm gonna reload the save that I made before I fixed the Deathclaw cages. I really love how optimized this game is. We're back from the corrupted save. We got Sprinkles emoting on me. Sprinkles, what are you doing? You can't get in there. No, Sprinkles. Sprinkles, cut it out. You can't go on the watchtower. Hey, bad Deathclaw. Bad Deathclaw. How are you levitate? What? Jesus Christ, Sprinkles has the power of teleportation. Have I mentioned how much I love how optimized this game is and how well it performs? I'm out of gears. How do I not have gears? That's like the easiest thing to get. How do I not have gears? I'm really well liked in the... Damn, what is that pose, huh? Hey, check it out.
Yeah, it's true. I got shot in the ass last year.
Yeah?
Long story.
Yeah, did you know that was me? I did it. And I'm gonna do it again. Sorry, guys, it was a misclick. You know there's a saying that history repeats itself, right? I'm really well liked in Diamond City.
Don't bother, pal.
Whatever it is, leave me out.
God, the people are so pessimistic here. I hate all of you.
Oh no, whatever it is.
What the hell is wrong with these people? It's like, hey guys, I've got the cure to cancer. Oh no, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it. Wait, does that have gears in it? Does this have gears? I'm gonna borrow this fan, okay? They saw me. No, it wasn't me, it was some other guy. Okay, you're gonna kill me for stealing a desk fan? Guys, it was just a goddamn desk fan. I think this is a little bit of an overreaction. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I'll give the fan back. Look, I'll give you the fan back. It was just a fan. There. I don't even have the fan. Help. Jesus Christ. Somebody help me. Please. Please. This is such an overreaction. I even gave it back. I gave them the fan back. Why are they still shooting me? Holy... You gotta be kidding. I'm gonna die. And it's gonna put me in an infinite death loop. No, this can't happen again. This can't happen again. Please. Who the hell is that guy? Who did they just kill with me? No. We're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. This happens in like every video. I get put in an infinite death loop in every single one of my videos. It's not happening again. Nope. You know, fine, I'll steal something else then. I'll steal everything. All of this is mine. See you later, idiots. Later, idiots. Yeah, you're not getting your stuff back. I'm so well liked in Diamond City. Did I mention that? Oh, come on. Give me a break. I'm trying to leave. Hate this place. I hate the worst place in the Commonwealth right there. 1-star review. 1-star review for Diamond City. No, they're not gonna get me. I wish I hadn't given them the fan back now. Imagine littering some gum in Diamond City and they just stick you in an Iron Maiden. That's the type of punishment that they have over there. Complete overreaction. A bunch of hysterical, crazy lunatics. You hear me? You're lunatics! Okay, whatever. I got my gears. I can go back. What on earth? How did you even get up there? Okay, so apparently all of my Deathclaws just have teleportation abilities. I don't even know why I'm bothering to build this fence. They're just gonna teleport outside of it. From dusk until dawn, I built a fence that enclosed the island. You might be wondering why an island filled with Deathclaws would need security, but here's the thing. I don't want my Deathclaws to see the ocean and get aspirations of becoming an Olympic gold medalist swimmer, right? So I need to keep them contained here on the island. Deathclaws are actually an endangered species here in the wasteland. They get a terrible reputation, and I won't stand for it. I mean, there's an entire quest in this game for you to steal a Deathclaw egg to make a tasty Deathclaw omelette with. Are you kidding me? Now, let me show you something. If you search kill Deathclaw on Google Trends, there's nothing, and then boom, in November, Fallout 4 releases. Everybody's searching for... Oh my god. Damn, what the hell? Why are you sickos searching for this? No, see, I'm not gonna let any harm come to my Deathclaws, and to that end, I constructed this. This slab of concrete is an observation deck that I attached to the perimeter fence, which granted me full vision of the island, to where I could see what all of my Deathclaws were getting up to. I also decided that this would be a great place to charge visitors overpriced tickets to get a view of the Deathclaws, so of course I built the observation deck with safety in mind above all else. Dude, if I fall off of this thing, I'm gonna die. Deathclaw directly below me. Glowstick, what are you doing? Get over here. Oh my god, I almost died. Dude, I just fell like 3 stories. But this wasn't the only improvement I made to Deathclaw Island. I went ahead and removed those cages that I had before placing them so that they were seamlessly interconnected with the fence. Then I ran a power line along the exterior of the fence that could be turned on and off to release new captures into the pen and allow for a much easier time at setting the traps. The only thing I didn't move outside of the perimeter fence was the beta wave emitter. I mean, in a place like this, somebody would have to be crazy to turn something as important as that off. With the newly revamped changes, visitors flocked to the island. I had doubled my working staff, and in that time, we had added about a dozen new Deathclaws to the preservation. We've got Cinnamon, we've got Blueberry, we've got Miscreant Devourer, you know, there's so much variety. Here, I'll pull up a list of all the Deathclaws that we've got here on the island. Let me know in the comments which one is your favourite. By all metrics, this was truly a golden age for the Deathclaw Preservation Society. I mean, nothing could go wrong, it's perfect. You know, like, nothing bad's gonna happen, right? Right, guys? Right? So one day I was off on a little side quest at the National Guard Training Armory because I remembered there being a stealth boy here and I wanted to get my hands on it. But let me tell you something, the security in this place, unbelievable. I mean, what's gonna be next, a sentry bot? But little did I know that after picking up that stealth boy, the course of the Deathclaw Preservation Society would change forever. And it started with a notification. The settlement is under attack. Now, I'm not going to make this out to be some grand cinematic thing, okay? When I initially saw this, I did not care whatsoever. I mean, I've got like 20 Deathclaws on the preservation. If some raiders want to try and steal my corn, good luck to them. But this failed to understand something crucial about Fallout 4, and it's that this game doesn't really operate off of logic. See, when you're not there for a settlement raid, the game resorts to using an auto-resolve script to decide the outcome. Now, having high defense does help with this, but no matter what, there's always going to be a chance that you'll lose the roll of the dice, and I lost the roll of the dice. Upon fast travelling back to the island, things had descended into pandemonium. The beta wave emitter had been damaged in the attack, and now my Deathclaws were going on a rampage. You might think that this would be a completely one-sided fight, but my unpaid workers had 2 advantages. First, they were using plasma weapons from the dead gunners that got out of their cages, and 2, these guys are invincible! They can't die! If I didn't get that beta wave emitter working again, then soon Deathclaw Island isn't gonna have any more Deathclaws. It's just gonna be an island. After evading one of the ones who got outside the fence, I arrived at the front gate of the enclosure before using that stealth boy that I picked up from earlier. From here, I ducked into the cornfield and prayed to Fallout Jesus that it would give me some cover from what was happening around me. I made it into the woods section of the enclosure where I had to watch as one of my chameleon Deathclaws was put down. I think it was Blueberry. But I was nearly at the beta wave emitter, just a little closer, and I can stop this. Bam! It's done. But I could still hear the gunfire. I crawled my way closer to it and found the corpse of a mythic Deathclaw and Randy. What? Who the hell is this guy? Even though the emitter was now fixed, the fighting hadn't stopped. In fact, my workers had mounted a defense below the observation deck. As I got closer to them, I realized what all that gunfire had been for. Sprinkles. Dead, lying in a puddle. Before I could even have the time to grieve, another Deathclaw showed up looking for revenge. This one smacking the shit out of this bald guy before it turned its attention to me. So I ran. I ran all the way to these gunner cages and hid inside one of them. I made the mistake of peeking outside only to be rewarded with a broken arm. By this point, I was pretty sure that the Deathclaw circling outside was Strawberry. I think he was upset about what happened to Blueberry. Almost as if reading my mind, he slapped me again through the cage before turning on the workers. I was really hoping that he would run away and save himself, but all I could do was watch as his health bar was slowly whittled away, until eventually it was all over. Strawberry laid dead outside the cages. Apparently the little rascal had stolen one of my kitchen knives at some point. But it wasn't just Strawberry, Cinnamon, Glowstick, Sprinkles. All of my Deathclaws were gone. And on the side of my workers, there was essentially no casualties, other than Randy. Who the hell is this guy? I've never met this guy in my life before. Now, look, I'm willing to admit, this may be slightly my fault for leaving a very vulnerable piece of technology out in the open, but come on! Since we're all being honest here, I'll admit to another one of my mistakes. I had these cages with people in them. See, sometimes I'd open them and see how long it took the Deathclaws to track him down. How was I supposed to know that, like, statistically increases the chances of a gunner raid on your settlement? You're telling me there's bands of gunners out there who are willing to do a jailbreak on what is essentially the Wasteland's equivalent of Jurassic Park? Rest assured though that no matter how bad things may seem, they can always get worse. In the following days of the attack, I was trying to I was trying to hire new workers because I hated the guts of the old ones, but this was pretty challenging because who wants to go work on an island filled with Deathclaws, especially with what just happened to the previous staff? Excuse me, sir, would you like to come work at my preservation? I can't pay you, but I can promise that the work will be gratifying. Oh, what are we preserving? Deathclaws. Damn! But I wasn't just getting my ass beaten, good neighbor, I was also hiring guard dogs to patrol the island. This felt like a pretty fitting decision, considering that this whole thing started with a Deathclaw saving my dog, and now the dogs would save the Deathclaws. But it wasn't just Deathclaw Island that I was working on. See, this attack had made me realize that the Deathclaw Preservation Society came this close to having all of our hard work wiped out. And by this close, I mean we did. You know, if I hadn't managed to turn that beta wave emitter back on, who knows what would have happened. My Deathclaws have already mutated the ability to teleport. Maybe they would have, I don't know, gained the ability to swim. You know, maybe they'd swim over to the mainland and just go on a rampage. Really, if you think about it, I saved the entire eastern half of the Commonwealth. Okay, if you live in Warwick Homestead, you should be thanking me. And so to that end, I built this place. This second location was less of a preservation and more of a containment facility. Inside, it numbered roughly 200 Deathclaw cages, and it ensured that even if the main island were to be attacked again, we would always have a backup location. But the last thing that I was expecting was for the attack to come from within. You remember those guard dogs that I mentioned? Yeah, well, they weren't just any guard dogs. I bought them from this guy in Far Harbor. And particularly this one, it's a special glowing variant. I had a soft spot for this dog because it reminded me of Glowstick. I called him Glowstick Jr. So you can probably imagine my reaction when I saw my own staff draw their guns and open fire on him. By the time I had made it there, it was already over. Glowstick Jr. was dead. See, it turns out that these glowing variants emit radiation that can actually damage your settlers, causing them to aggro, which might seem understandable until you point out that this entire goddamn island is surrounded with irradiated water. These guys had to swim here. I had a moment of self-reflection here where I realized that every bad thing that's happened up until this point was a direct result of human intervention, and it made me think, you know, maybe the Deathclaws would be better off back in their natural habitat. Why am I taking all these measures to section the Deathclaws off from human populations when it should be the humans sectioning themselves off from the Deathclaws? And so in that moment, I made the decision to turn the beta wave emitter back off and watched as the Deathclaws tore apart the preservation. Of course, not before turning off the essential status of all of the workers. But I didn't just stop there. No, see, I wanted to ensure their survival. So I opened all 200 cages at the containment facility and led the Deathclaws on a crusade across the Commonwealth, leading them all the way to Diamond City. Hey guys, it's me! I brought that desk fan back. I'm so sorry for stealing a desk fan, which I gave back, by the way. This is a completely different desk fan. Please take it as a sincere form of my apology. And then I led them to Bunker Hill so that Joe can meet his grandfather. Yes, this guy gave me the idea for this video in the first place, but I haven't forgotten the fact that he was making fun of me. And so the era of the Deathclaw begins now.